Hello everyone, good evening, welcome to Business Live. Coming up tonight, Ghana Rubber Estates Limited loses over 550,000 euros as illegal miners take over portions of its plantation. Ghana Private Road Transport Union reduces fares by 10%. Also coming up tonight, Ghana's energy sector loses $300 million as projects are suspended due to COVID-19. Details plus many more coming up this evening on Business Live. In our first major story tonight, the Ghana Rubber Estates Limited is estimated to lose over 550,000 euros in the coming years due to activities of illegal mining on some portions of their rubber plantation at Adiawoso in the Hunter West municipality. Over 500 illegal miners operating on the concession of the company say they are not ready to stop galamsey due to lack of jobs. Correspondent Natalia Kwanzaa visited the concession and has come through with this report.
Busily conducting their illegal activities at a portion of a rubber plantation belonging to the Ghana Rubber Estates Limited at Adiawoso in the Hunter West municipality are these over 500 illegal miners. The 25 acres of land has been barricaded with bamboo stakes by these illegal miners, with over 35 pits for mining dug within the past 2 weeks. A team of Operation Vanguard and police have come to stop them from their activities. These are just a section of the illegal miners here singing and chanting war songs, connoting that they are not leaving this concession for the Ghana Rubber Estates Limited. The presence of Operation Vanguard, the police, and even cameras could not deter them from going about their activities. They say the operation is legal as they have gone through all appropriate quarters to seek clearance before starting their work.
We are here on the initiative of Akufo-Addo's community mining. So we have all our documents which concern this particular land. You understand? So we have gone to the appropriate quarters that we have to be. We were asked to stop. Then we said we have all our documents. So we went to the MC of the land. Then they invited the chiefs, the grave managers to come. So we all went. As we are here, we all went. So when we went, it came into conclusion that we should come and do our work. So right now, I don't know what has happened and you people are here.
Are you telling me this is not illegal mining?
Oh, me, I don't see it as illegal mining because we have an approval. We have gone to the regional minister.
The miners openly resist ejection by the Operation Vanguard team from the concession, saying they are operating legal community mines. Divine, one of the miners speaking to JoyNews, says if GRIL wants peace, they should allow them to work, else
they should allow us to do work because we will not accept it because I can't leave this work and go and steal. That means they don't want peace. If they want peace, then they should allow us. If they want peace, they should allow us to go on because we are working. Them too, they have their factories because of money matter. That's why they too they have this company, and we too we are doing our work to get our money.
Commanding Officer for Operation Vanguard in the Western Region, Superintendent Douglas Kumi, in an interview says their intention was to invite the leadership of the miners to engage them on the operation and ascertain if the operation were legal.
What is happening is that GRE as a company came to inform we, Operation Vanguard squad, that we should come and assist them rectify a problem going on here. We have organized enough men to come here. You are all witness to what is happening here. We wanted a few people from the leadership to come out, go and sit down with us so that we have the opportunity to listen to them and know if they have had some meetings with the assembly and anybody who matters. But the leaders are not able to control the crowd and they are not able to come out. So we want to go back and then reorganize ourselves.
Corporate Affairs Manager of Grill, Perrier Champon, says the continuous operation of these miners will cost the company a loss of €550,000.
Yes, the area in question is about 350 acres. They've started within a small portion. If we don't take the necessary steps or the authorities do not stop them, it could cover the whole 350 acres. This area was replanted in 2010 with rubber, and from 2010 to date we spent about €550,000 as investment in that area. We could lose all this investment of €550,000. The potential or expected income from the same area is about €3.5 million over the next 30 years. So this is the cost of distraction that, if these activities are not stopped, could happen.
For Joy News, in Athalia Kwanza, Western Region.
Meanwhile, small-scale miners in the central region are calling for a review strategy to combat alluvial mining. They say investment in the fight against the menace is yet to yield desired result due to defiance of recalcitrant dredgers. The Small-Scale Miners Association says offenders return within weeks of any operation to flush them out of their river borders. Here is a report by Nanaya Ojima.
Miners here, together with national leadership, formed a task force to deal with dredges on the Ofin River. They worked under the Interministerial Committee Against Illegal Mining, led by Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng. Despite several operations to save the country's water bodies, quality continues to deteriorate since dredgers refuse to give up. Mr. Ayeke says government will have to improve its support for the task force to augment the association's efforts.
We should be doing the operation frequently. If you do it today, maybe next 2 weeks before you come, or 1 month, 6 months, before you come, they will come back to the water bodies. So we need a constant operation to get rid of them from the water bodies.
How do you think this can be made possible, the constant operation?
Constant operation can be possible when we have the logistics and the money, the funds. Though some of our big men have been sponsoring us, especially Professor Frimpong Boateng has been helping us somewhere along the line. The small-scale miners, the leaders, the executives, they have been supporting us. But still, it is not enough.
River Ofin has lost its drinking quality due to dredging of the waterbed for gold. Communities here who relied on the water now can use it only for other activities. Continued dredging has widened the course of the river and increased flood rates.
She says, we use it for domestic activities aside cooking and drinking. This is an extension of the river, but Ofin itself, we can't fetch it because it's too dirty. We are not to blame. These people are settlers. If you call for their arrest, other people will attack you.
Now, a renewed exercise by the central region has resulted in destruction of over 100 Shanfine boats in 4 days. Leader of the team, Bracey Ando, believes with the necessary equipment, they stand a chance of winning the war.
We stopped because of our vehicles and our equipment. We don't have equipment that we will use. So we are pleading that if the boat comes, we will work very hard. You can see this boat. It doesn't belong to us. It belongs to somebody. And we just went and begged the person so that he will give us the boat. Without boat, you cannot work on this river.
From Dunkwao in the central region for Joy News, Nanaya Ojima reporting.
Away from our mining side, $300 million worth of energy projects in Ghana have been put on hold, and hundreds of job losses are expected in the coming weeks. Now, this is how hard the coronavirus pandemic has affected the country's energy sector, and has amid the troubling phenomenon. Players in the sector are expected to be recognized in the 4th edition of the Ghana Energy Awards. Dr. Kwame Ampofo is chairman of the board of the Ghana Energy Awards.
The energy sector has not been spared from the impacts of the pandemic. And now we note that even oil prices have collapsed and reached a very low level. In Ghana, reports have indicated that the sector has been hit as companies have had to shut down because several workers had tested positive for the virus. The Petroleum Commission forecast that there would be several job losses in the petroleum upstream sector due to the impact of the coronavirus pandemic. Tullow Ghana, Eke Energy, Halliburton, and Schlumberger are all reported to have reduced their workforce, and more are yet to be sent home. Prior to the outbreak of COVID-19, most of the international oil companies had planned to undertake drilling campaigns and conduct geophysical data of their oil wells. However, the outbreak of the virus has forced them to suspend all these activities. These and other projects worth over $324 million would have injected life into Ghana's economy.
The event is expected to take place on September 30. It is under the theme Excelling in Crisis, the Energy Sector in a COVID-19 era. We move to other stories now. The coalition of affected customers of DKM customers in Nkranza and the Bono East region have expressed disappointment in government for failing to capture the DKM in the mid-year budget review. They indicated that the affected customers suffered continuously since May 2015, adding that the horrors of the COVID-19 pandemic has worsened their plight. JoyNews' Anat Sabet was at the press conference organized by the group and came through with the following report.
In February this year, the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, in his fourth State of the Nation address, stated that his government has made arrangements to pay all depositors of failed financial institutions, including DKM. However, 5 months after the said promise, affected customers of DKM are yet to receive any amount from government. At a press briefing held by the coalition of affected DKM customers in Nkranza in the Bono East region, the group, led by its public relations officer Nana Kwabena Iyadom, questioned why government failed to mention DKM in the mid-year budget review read by the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta in Parliament.
Your Excellency, President of this great republic, we are a coalition of affected DKM customers whose plight you sought to redress during your last State of the Nation's address on 20th February 2020. We had until then relied on the hope of your campaign promise to ensure all monies are duly paid to us. This hope has indeed grown bleak after listening to your able Finance Minister, Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta, who was completely silent on the DKM matter in the mid-year budget reading. What has become of the promise made to us for full payments by the Vice President in his town hall meeting at KNUST? What has become of your own promise to the chiefs, Nananom, and people of the Bono East Traditional Council for full payment of the principals of the affected DKM customers, Mr. President? But above all, what has become of the promise you made to the entire nation during your State of the Nation's address, SONA, in 20th February 2020 about DKM? We find it worrying why nothing is being said about DKM. Is the government lying to us?
The team indicated that the COVID-19 pandemic has taken a toll on their lives and urged the President and government to keep their promises by at least offering them stimulus packages capable of sustaining them.
Isn't 5 years enough suffering? Your Excellency, we have incessantly suffered the difficulties DKM fallouts left us with since May 11, 2015. We are not slapped by only this, but also the horrors of the COVID-19 pandemic. You can imagine how deep our wounds are now.
For most people in the Nkranza municipality, the collapse of microfinance institutions prior to the 2016 elections has led to the people losing confidence in the banking sector.
In Nkranza, as it stands now, I tell you, my brother, nobody wants to go into bank and then put his money there again. Looking at those whose monies have been locked up, not to talk about only DKM, other banking institutions, it's a very big challenge which the government think or maybe feels that the cleanup is working, but I tell the government that, or I'm saying it on authority, that the people has lose what? Confidence in the banking sector as it stands now.
They therefore called on government to consider paying them their locked up monies or risk losing their votes in the December polls.
You wrote on this to assume this political height, and posterity can attest to this. Let not your words fall flat before your subjects, citizens who have reposted trust in you. We are in an election year. Once more, and pray you to do due diligence. I repeat, we are in an election year. Once more, and pray you do due diligence.
Reporting for Joy News, Anas Sabit, Nkranza.
Meanwhile, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, says about 96% of customers of defunct microfinance institutions have so far been paid. He, however, added court litigations have caused delays in the payment process. Some defunct institutions are in court to contest the revocation of their license, a development the governor says has resulted in delays.
The information that came out regarding the settlements, that more than 96% of all depositors have been paid. I mean, this is really the structure of depositors in the SDI sector. Most of the depositors in the SDI sector are small depositors, people with balances that are below 10,000 cedis are in the majority. So more than 96% of depositors in the entire sector have been settled. It means that 4%, those that have balances in excess of 20,000, 50,000 or more, are just about 4 or 5% of the population of depositors in the SDI sector. Now, we know that the sectors such as GN Bank and First Allied Bank had some issues regarding the court cases which delayed payments. But I understand that most of the depositors are either being paid down or have been paid. So that issue regarding GN Bank and First Allied has been or is being resolved. Now, Etonam asked a question about reserves, a decline of $1 billion in reserves, and I think that's a very good observation on her part, because most of the assessments have been looking at the end of 2019 relative to now, but I think she's looking at where we peaked, and I think we peaked somewhere in March or so, where we were around $10 billion or more. So yes, if you look at it in terms of where we peaked, we have lost $1 billion, and it tells you the pressures that we have in the economy.
You're still watching Business Live. In other stories tonight, as the political season gets heated up, private sector businesses are seeking to influence party manifestos. The Private Enterprise Federation has started engaging the two major political parties on what they deem crucial for business development, especially during the COVID-19 era. Speaking to Joy Business after a national validation workshop, Chief Executive of the Federation, Nana Osei-Bonsu, said policies aimed at boosting domestic production should be top priority for any political party that wants to win power in the upcoming elections.
The December elections are barely 6 months away. Private businesses are seeking to influence the policies of political parties. They deem this critical for their survival, especially during the season of the COVID-19 pandemic. With funding from Star Ghana, the Private Enterprise Federation has begun engagements with the two major political parties to adopt various recommendations sensitive to local private sector operations. Speaking to Joy Business at the end of a validation workshop in Accra, Chief Executive Officer of the Private Enterprise Federation, PEF, Nana Osebonsu, explained investment in domestic production should be the focus of any political party that wins power.
This COVID-19 has leveled the playing field. It had brought to fore the need to domesticate every activity. Let me give you an example. When the COVID hit, if we didn't have businesses who could make the face masks and the requisite PPEs, I don't know where Ghana would have been. So it's brought to the point that let's bring our attention to the local business. And when I say local business, it's not the local ownership alone. Businesses that are operating in Ghana, both left and right, to capacitate them to be able to do what they need to do. So, because previously the emphasis had always been foreign direct investments. Well, it's good to have partners coming in. Once they do, whatever they bring in is going to go in 4 multiples. They're going to take something out. But if you have the emphasis in the local, it stays here.
But how well is PEF doing with engaging the political parties?
Already we have met with NDC, their manifesto team. We had some hours long of discussion. There's a subsequent discussion, a breakfast meeting coming up soon. We have engaged the NPP through correspondence. We haven't had a physical dialogue yet, and that is how we want to. Because what we bring to the table, we want a discussion for them to understand and appreciate the merits of what we're doing.
Okay. At the end of the engagements, PEF hopes to develop a consolidated private sector position paper advocating an enabling environment for business growth, which will be presented to the political parties for consideration in their manifestos.
Now, the National Board for Small-Scale Industries, NBSSI, has begun the second phase of disbursement targeting medium-sized enterprises. This was after the conclusion of the first phase, where 56 million cedis was disbursed to some micro enterprises. Executive Director of the National Board for Small-Scale Enterprises, Kosi Yanke Aye, says some 30 million cedis has been set aside for medium-sized businesses.
To them. There are people who applied upwards of up to 2,000 Ghana cedis. We've also initiated the process to start with the NIDASOR funding, which is those who applied above 2,000 cedis. And we are working very closely with the participating financial institutions that have been selected to ensure that all the beneficiaries have the needed access. And we'll get to people. There's been a lot of conversation as to, are we really disbursing? Yes, we have been disbursing. Some people claim they haven't received the funding. And yes, we've also seen there have been challenges that have come up. Before we give out the funds, as much as possible, we try to match the names of the MOMO with the names of the person who has applied. And it's amazing that over 30% of the beneficiaries usually do not have the names that they applied with on their MOMO. So when we go out to make payments, we realize that the funds are returned back to us because the names do not correspond. So we have to now go back and look at over 20,000 applicants and see how we are going to reach them to ensure that the names they've given and the MOMO they've given us really align. But as much as possible, over 60,000 plus have benefited or received access to funding. Thank you.
So the second part which you mentioned, when are they also going to get it? You did mention that you've started the process, but when are they going to get it?
Oh, it's ongoing. So every day we release some funds, we go on ahead and we are working on that close. We've set targets for ourselves, and as much as possible we want to close so that we can be able to go through and see all the changes that we've made in the lives of the Ghanaian people.
And before we go, let me remind you that the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRT, has reduced transport fares by 10% effective August 1, 2020. The move follows a review of COVID-19 protocols in public transport, allowing drivers to operate at full capacity. And that's our program tonight. I am Sandra Esinamapeno. Log on to myjoyline.com/business for more business news. But I'm back at 7 p.m. on Joy News Prime with more business. Thanks so much for watching.